What's up, guys? Welcome to the Lead House party live stream here. What is this about? This is our third time doing this. Basically, we're just going to call some of their leads, inbound leads. These are people that just recently filled out a form. And the whole purpose of this is to show you guys different styles of closings, show you guys the quality of these leads. There's a lot of service providers out there. There's PPL, there's PPC, there's cold calling companies. There's a lot of stuff out there, but I think inbound by far is my favorite. But the hardest thing about these companies is the consistency. And I tell you right now, Lead House 365 has over delivered on the consistency of these deals. We're closing deals every month from these guys, and they're some of the best in the business, honestly. And I want to bring them up. I'll let them tell you a little bit more about who they are, what they do, how are they different from most providers. And then I'm going to bring up my friend Nick. He's crushing over there in California. He was also in the Closers Olympics. I'm going to let him tell you a little bit more about who he is, his background, what's working today. The landscape has changed, right? Some of these guys have been in this business for a while. And at least when I started in 2015, it's just not the same in 2026. So we can talk a little bit more about that, what's changed, and let's just have a good time. But first and foremost, let me bring up Lead House. I'm going to bring him up. What's up, Lead House? How you guys doing?
Yo, what's happening, man?
Oh, hold on a second. There's Drew.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
This is our third time doing this. Every time we've had this, we've closed a contract.
That's awesome.
And, when we first did it with Steve, his very first call would close the contract. My very first call would close the contract. And then we got Elijah on there. And, man, we went through a lot of leads. Some people didn't pick up. And that's just part of the game. Whether you're new or experienced, we know that people are not going to pick up. The follow-up's important. But once Elijah got somebody on the phone, it was really interesting to see how you close that. But the consistency is what I feel that separates you guys from the competition. Can you guys first kind of introduce yourselves to everybody and what makes Lead House so different from everybody else?
Yeah, absolutely. Lead House, me and Drew built this company based on people, right? We knew we came to the point where it was in our own business when we started to shift outside of targeting real estate, targeting property, houses, that type of stuff, and start to target people because people are the motivated reasons why somebody has to sell a house now or sell a property now, right? So once we started realizing that, hey, all the competition is going after absentee owners, vacant houses, and just smacking up with direct mail or cold calling, SMS, whatever, we try to focus on a situation that someone may be going to that says that they're going to need access to capital fast. That's kind of like our philosophy on things, and we just built it out. It worked really well in our own internal business, and we threw that out to the public and just took off from there, man.
Yeah, and we have our own real estate investing business, and we had tried all the other companies, and we just felt like there was a big missing gap in the marketplace of people who understood data, understood how to market to sellers, and then also just the price point of where things were at. We were getting PPC quality leads with high intent for a fraction of the cost. And we got to the point where we were doing so well, we started being approached by a lot of these PPL companies saying, hey, will you guys generate leads for our PPL platform? And so we realized that by doing that, they were just taking the leads we were generating and just upselling them and providing them to people on these PPL platforms. And we realized, well, why don't we start our own business where people can come directly to us? So we're basically like the wholesaler of these motivated seller leads. So in order to do that, we made a strategic, some decisions that made us unique in the industry where we are exclusive. So if we partner with a partner for their market, you're pretty much getting exclusive access to that market, which means we no longer provide leads to PPL companies in that market. You get exclusive access at 100%. And with that, you're able to get the same exact lead you might get from a PPL company for a fraction of the cost. And a lot of leads that we generate, don't ever make it to PPL companies as well. So you kind of get to dominate your market. So we have guys all over the country who are exclusive, who are having one call closes all the time because they're getting exclusive access to these leads. And because the way we market directly to people based off what they're going through. Houses don't have motivation. People have motivation. You have to market to a person. So many people are marketing to real estate data. They're marketing to foreclosure lists. They're marketing towards homeowners, right? They're marketing to people. If a person's credit score is dropping, they're researching a divorce attorney. If they potentially are hiring a moving company out of state, that all shows us that that person should be marketed to potentially sell their property. And then we worry about if they're a homeowner or not. And that's really what sets us apart. I've been doing digital marketing for the last 20 years. I spent over $100 million on digital advertising. I've done this mostly in e-com, but partnering with Craig, I took all that knowledge of how I run ads and bring it towards the real estate investing space.
Wow. I love that you target people, not properties. And, you know, one thing that I really like about you guys is that it's exclusive. So, you know, these leads aren't recycled. They're exclusive to the partner in the market, you know. And one of the things I always like saying this to everybody, if you guys are watching your newer experience, how many times do we see people sign up for any kind of service? Maybe most new people. I was one of them, so I'm speaking from experience. And we expect these perfect contracts to fall in the lap, right? And then, man, this doesn't work. It's not for me. You know, this service, just like any other service, it's as good as the closer and the operation behind it. Are you following up with leads? Are you getting to the leads in time? How's your dispo? How's your TC? All that stuff is really important. So if you are watching, you know, these guys are very picky about who they bring on. It's not a good fit for everybody. Last thing they want to see you do is throw your money out the window if you're not prepared to take on these kind of leads. And I just like throwing that out there, you know. And if you are a good closer and you have some deals under your belt, you should definitely reach out to them. I'll put a link in the comment thing here, so you guys can check them out. But it is it's just high quality, you know, every single month. Quality. I mean, I did the deal that's today at 1 o'clock. I spoke to 2 people that are very motivated and they just came in. So I'm looking forward to it. Where can people, I'm going to put the link here, but where can people reach out to you guys, maybe get some more information, anything you want to tell the people before I bring on Nick here?
Everything at Leadhouse 365 or leadhouse365.com. Steven will drop the link in the description below too, in the bio. So if y'all want to sign up with us, get with us soon though, because we're going to change our pricing. We're doing more commercial stuff now too, bigger deals, bigger spreads.
Talk about that.
Bigger price.
That real quick. I don't want to rush that. That's I don't know how much you can say about, you know, everything that's going on, but you definitely got to tell people about that.
Yeah, if you guys aren't doing commercial real estate right now, you start doing it, because we can get you the same quality lead, just like a residential seller, and they own commercial real estate, you know, warehouse, multifamily, mobile parks, 40 acres of land, stuff like that. The spreads are incredible on these deals, and your dollar goes a lot further. You just got to change your script up a little bit. You're dealing with more savvy people, but there is no competition at all. So having these leads come in like a PPC would of a truly motivated seller is worth gold. So yeah, check us out on that stuff.
Awesome. You guys have anything else you want to tell people before we bring on Nick?
I don't think so. I think we're ready to party.
All right, cool. It's always interesting how this goes. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Thank you.
Sounds good, man.
All right, brother.
All right, cool. So set up a call with them. You know, I've tried different PPC companies. Some good, some not so good. Some are good but inconsistent. Like these guys, they target the people. It's exclusive, so you know you don't have to get into a bidding war on Google. You know, with other companies, and it's just there. It kind of sells itself, which is part of the reason I like doing this stuff. I like promoting companies that offer great services to their clients and take care of their clients and provide quality over quantity is what this is all about. And if you're a good closer, you guys will love Leadhouse. All right. So that being said, I want to bring up my friend Nick. Nick, he was the Closers Olympics. This guy, you know, he loves getting on these calls. It's always fun, you know, doing this for a while and just jumping on those calls. There's always kind of like an adrenaline rush getting these contracts, you know, while you're serving people, building teams. But let's bring on Nick, the Flip King. Nick, what's going on, man? Can you hear me okay? I hear myself, Nick.
What's going on, Steve? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you okay. Can you hear us okay?
For some reason, I can't hear you on the stream. I have you on my other PC, so there's like a little bit of a lag for some reason.
Let me see here. It might be your audio output. Let me see. Hey, Craig and Drew, let me know in the chat if you guys can hear us okay. I think you should. It might be a little bit delayed, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing you on my laptop, but for some reason, on the actual stream, I can't hear you. So that's the lag.
Okay. I think Nick, for some reason, hear us, not Steven. That's interesting. Let me just check, make sure it's. I mean, I think everybody can hear me okay. Here, let me bring up Craig. Let's do a quick sound check here. Can you hear me okay, Craig?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Nick, I can hear you too. I can tell you two can't, or I can tell you can't hear him.
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly fine.
What? He can't hear me, but he can hear you.
But it's only Steven for some reason.
That's weird. Maybe I wonder if Nick, you try to X out the link and then come back in or something.
Yeah, I'm also gonna try Chrome because I'm actually on Safari. So I don't think that stream I use works well with Safari. I think I've from the past.
Oh, it's the domain or whatever.
Yeah, let's let him do that. We got time today. Craig, what can we expect today? What kind of leads you see coming in?
I mean, it is winter break a lot of places too, so things are moving a little slower, but good conversations, deals. I think this is the third go around, right? Last time Elijah got a contract. The first time both you and Steve Train got a contract, so that's 4 for 3. So I'm sorry, no, 3 for 2. Let's keep it going. But great conversations, and hey, there he is.
Now I can't hear him. Can you hear him?
Nah.
Nick, on the bottom, click I've done the same mistake. I don't know if this is what the issue is, but on the very bottom left, there's a little microphone button right here. Select the right mic and output there. That might do something. Yeah.
You can hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me clearly, like live time?
I can hear you clear as day.
Let's go. Okay, we back to business. Thanks, Craig.
You got it.
All right. All right, great. So let me do this. All right, you can still hear me consistently. Testing.
You're good to go.
All right, cool, man. I'm glad we got that sorted out. All right, cool. So you were saying, Nick, now we got this. Can you tell people a little bit more about who you are, your background? How'd you get into the game? What's going on now than when you first started?
First pleasure being on. I think that we were chatting right before obviously the stream, and we were talking about just how long we've been in the business, right? Got going in 2018. 2018 got going, obviously wholesaling, flipping, and then just real estate in general. And see, I don't know, I think you're kind of similar, I believe, but the whole reason why I specifically got into this business was because I knew that I was pretty good at sales, pretty good at communication, pretty good at, just closing deals. And I was just looking for like a bigger vehicle. So if you're out there watching and maybe you haven't closed the deal just yet, maybe you're just getting going, or maybe you're ramping up, just know that number one, it takes time, but number two, you're in the right vehicle. And I was blessed and fortunate to have found this vehicle in 2018. And, fast forward, I've closed at least 800 plus deals since then. A lot of them, majority of them probably wholesale, fix and flip, novations, rental properties, just a little bit of everything, primarily single family properties nationwide. And I've been fortunate to grow a company, to where now we employ almost 20 people, right? A lot of them are in different countries. A lot of them are here in the States. And obviously blessed and fortunate to do quite a bit of volume nationwide. So, super excited to be here today and to hopefully not just share value and insights and, what it takes to get to that level, but also talk to sellers live, because this business is about communicating to other people. And a lot of people forget, like, hey, it doesn't matter if you have the best leads, the best systems or processes in the world, you still got to close and you still got to convert, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It's like if somebody dropped like 10 PPC leads on somebody that is not ready for them, you're only as good as your closer. But no, that's so true. I mean, everything's changed, and you definitely gotta. I mean, acquisitions is like the bloodline of this business, regardless of the size. It all starts off with the the marketing, but the closers is the ones that convert those leads to contracts. So, what do you see different? And this could be in your business. You told us a little bit more about why you got into it, but what are some major things you feel that's changed in this industry since when you got started? And with those changes, how have you adapted to the new playing field?
I think and you could relate to this in 2018, 19, 20. Number one is there wasn't as many tools and resources and things available, literally fingertips, right? A Google search away. There wasn't as many systems and processes that there are today. So I think that, in my opinion, it was a little bit more challenging. But once you figured it out, I believe that in the earlier stages, the 18s, the 19s, the 20s, even a little bit of the 21, it was the COVID era. It was significantly almost easier to get properties under contract and then sell them. And what took place is a shift, right? A shift in 22 and 23 and 24. And that's, and if you didn't adapt to, number one, marketing, right? For us, back in 18, 19, we can rely on cold calling, right? And only cold calling and close a significant amount of deals. But in those later years, no, we had to learn, right? The PPC, learn the PPL, learn, obviously we do a lot of agent outreach, learn a slew of other channels to add to what we're already doing to get us to where we want to go. And then number two is sales skills, right? For me, I'm really big on training my team. I'm really big on getting better each and every single day. I'm really big on, making sure that people are well equipped, right? Knowledge-wise, to be able to close and convert. And I feel like, you will get exposed eventually if your sales skills aren't up to par. And if you're out there watching and you might lack in that particular area, then you gotta be working. You gotta be working. I tell my team, what you do or don't do in the dark always shows up in the light. And there's shows like this, there's shows like the Closers Olympics, there's shows, you go on YouTube, right? There's so many resources and videos that you can watch to get better and better and better and better. We're in the people business, and you've got to learn to adapt and communicate with people at a high level to convert.
No, I love that. I miss the days where you get a contract, you send an email, and all the offers come back in. And it's just such a different game right now, and the tools. And I think, I don't know what the future looks like with the AI on the acquisition side. I think one day, we'll be teaching robots, but there's always going to be a human element when you're talking to homeowners. And the acquisitions aspect is really a lot of problem solving. And the sharper you are at problem solving, the easier it is to get these contracts. And I love what you said, like the truth will show, regardless what you're doing. How hard are you working? Some people, this business is, it's simple but hard. Like it's a simple business, but it's a lot of hard work. And starting out is a lot of hard work. Tell us about before we jump on these calls, tell us a little bit more about your first deal, how you came across it, and what did you do after that?
Full disclosure. So my first, everyone has a story. Okay. Everyone's first deal is going to be completely different than the next guy or next girl, whatever that may be. And I was blessed and fortunate to make 90 grand on my very first deal in real estate. And maybe you're out there and you're like, what? My first deal was 2,000 or 1,500 or 5 grand or 10 grand. And after I paid myself and, put money back into marketing, I took home like $1,500, whatever it may be. I was fortunate. Yeah. $90,000. And I'm going to tell you, I believe what transpired, which was so special. And we can take this and really, hopefully, depending on where they are in their business, really hopefully it can build some momentum, because I went from one industry to the next. And I was on YouTube researching, hey, what industry will pay me the most amount of income, right? And I realized this business, it depends upon the product that you're selling, right? I used to say, prior to real estate, I was selling a product that costed $500 and $1,000, and I realized right then and there, you can never earn a $50,000 commission selling $1,000 product, right? And people that maybe even a lot of guys sell cars, and there's different obviously price points, but maybe even selling a $40,000 product, it's going to be hard to make a $50,000 commission selling a $40,000 product. So right away, I knew energy for energy, right? I was in the right industry, and I basically burned the boats. I said, I'm going to learn this business, and I'm going to tell everyone that I know that I'm doing real estate. Although I've never closed a deal, I have no experience. I'm literally like on YouTube University, and it was the word of mouth. I started talking to people and telling people that I'm looking for fixer-uppers to purchase. And at the time in 2018, did I really probably have enough backing or income to purchase a fixer-upper and flip a property? No. But I was telling everybody that I was looking for properties to purchase. And it was a family friend that referred me to somebody that happened to be going through foreclosure. There was an auction date, 30 days out to where they were going to lose the house. They had a foreclosure, and they were back taxes like $30,000, $40,000. And I said, oh, great. I'm in the business of helping people in difficult situations. Can I get their number? Got their number. Obviously didn't really know everything, but obviously was just kind of, threw myself out there, got the property under contract. And I actually should have made $150,000, but again, I didn't know what I was doing. First deal ended up being $90,000. The cost per lead was nothing because it was a referral, it was word of mouth.
Yeah.
And if you're brand new or in sales, or you're brand new in real estate, or you're an owner and you're recruiting, belief, because when I was on YouTube prior to getting into the business, I saw a guy make $70,000 wholesaling a property, and he was talking about his success story and how he did it. And I said, if this guy can do it, I can do it too. All it took was seeing somebody do it. And I watched the YouTube video. It was a success story of a young guy who made 70 grand back in, 2018, wholesaling a property with no cash, no credit, little experience, right? And I said, if he can do it, I can do it. Burn the boats. And I just really believed. And took that $90,000 and, and obviously just, started to invest into, real marketing and systems and processes and, the whole thing, and built a company. But that's my first deal. It was just word of mouth, and it was belief.
Oh, that's awesome. That is, I don't hear too many people, their first deal, they get 90 grand, and especially from like a referral. And, belief is such an important part of this, because a lot of people get into this, they limit their mindset based on what they've achieved or what they can't. And, that first deal, I always call it, was a reality check. I'm like, man, this is real. Like, all I got to do is rinse and repeat this. And it's very possible. I think anybody can do this, but it takes hard work. You have to believe in yourself, like you said, and you have to stay consistent. You have to sharpen your sales skills. And this landscape has changed not only the tools and systems, but it start to get regulated. There's more bills being passed. I don't know if you heard of all those other ones, the bills being passed in specific states. I'd love to hear your opinion on it, and what you're doing, if you are in those markets, or maybe in your market there's been any regulation that you've seen. What have you seen out there in terms of changes on, the maybe some laws being changed or passed, and if you are in those markets, how's your approach? Is it changed? Is it like what does that look like? Because a lot of people are freaking out about this stuff.
I'd say first and foremost, don't freak out. Don't freak out. Right? If you're pressing a panic button, quickly get away as fast as humanly possible. Number two, if you're in a state that requires specific, verbiage in a assignment agreement or in a purchase contract, learn what that particular verbiage is, right? Obviously, there's Chat GPT to help you figure it out on how to put it into your contract to where, it's acceptable, it's legal. And so learn what's necessary. And then last but not least, then just get to work. Just get to work. I think that, a lot of people, a lot of my students sometimes, a lot of people that from Instagram or a lot of just colleagues in general, they spend time on certain aspects that just are not going to earn them any income. Yes, do you want to stay compliant? 1,000,000%. Do you want to learn the rules and regulations? Absolutely. But to be quite honest with you, learning the rules and regulations and staying compliant shouldn't take you that long to implement whatever might be changing. Because this business is a think outside of the box business, right? It's a business that rewards consistency. It's a business that rewards hard work. It's a business that rewards sharp sales skills. It's a business that rewards those individuals that move quickly. So many people get caught up on, I got to get this right and tight CRM. I got to try 3 PPC companies. I got to, explore this cold calling aspect. I got to get my script down before I make a call. I got to, no. You're going to get yourself caught up in a position that you don't want to be, because time is going to continue to pass and pass and pass. So I guess to answer your question, I know it's pretty vague. We were talking about a specific state. I could probably dive deeper, but for the most part, we learn the rules and regulations. We implement incredibly quick. We ask questions, and then we get right back to work.
That's it. One thing I love what you said is that people try to perfect everything: the script, the CRM, the websites, the business card, the magnet on the car, whatever it is, and you just got to get to work and start making the calls. It took me, my first deal took me 8 months because I didn't have guidance. I didn't know what I was doing. I was learning from YouTube University, and I was trying to perfect everything like business cards, CRM. And then when I started rubbing shoulders with people that are active operators, doing a lot more deals, I just focus on talking to people. And then I got 2 deals in 2 weeks. I'm like, dang, that little shift, just focus on talking to people, making offers, and then you see the momentum going. We have a question from somebody. 90K Rip, that's insane. What's the hardest thing you went through when trying to get your first deal?
The hardest thing I went through was probably, there's 2 things. Number one is I wish I would have believed a lot bigger, a lot sooner. And it's easy for me to say that, right? 800 deals later, 90K on the first one, so on and so forth. You and I have both been on these shows and kind of been around the real estate community, nationwide for many, many years. It's easier for me to say that. But in the beginning, when you close the deal, you're just getting it going. You got to spend some money on marketing. You got to spend some money on leads. You got to spend some money on, the PPC leads and the website and a little CR. It's challenging in the beginning to believe. It is, and it could be. But I just wish I would have believed a lot bigger, a lot sooner. And then lastly, if you have the ability, right? Not everybody does. Burn the boats. Burn the boats. And it doesn't mean quit your job, but it just means become obsessive, become obsessed. And I think that word sometimes, could people can believe there's like a negative connotation attached to it, right? But it just depends on what you're obsessed with, right? If I'm because some people are obsessed with some of the wrong things, right? Maybe going out too much, maybe over drinking or partying too much, or just getting into trouble. They're obsessed with, whatever it may, right? Get obsessed with this business. Get obsessed with getting better at communicating over the phone. Get obsessed with sharpening your skills. Get obsessed with perfecting your craft. Get obsessed with, making sure your CRM is right and tight with your follow-ups and your sequences and this and that. Get obsessed. And it's okay to be obsessive, because I believe that if you can become ridiculously obsessed with this business, right, it will reward you forever. So number one, believe a lot bigger, a lot sooner. And number two, burn the boats and become obsessed with this business. And burn the boats can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And if you have the ability to go all in, go all in. Go all in, because this is one of the biggest and best industries. You can make $1 million a million ways. This is just one of my favorite ways.
Burn the boats, man. And he doesn't mean quit your job. I think if you have mouths to feed, you got bills to pay. Stay in your job, but transition out. But you have to become obsessed. I love that you said that, because, I think the difference, the biggest difference I noticed, at least for me when I started, versus people that started at the same time, is they, for me, I changed my circle, I changed my habits, I started changing the people who I surrounded myself with. Not that they were bad people, but they weren't headed in the right direction. Instead of going home or hanging out with friends, after partying or whatever, I studied, I read books, I went to masterminds, networking events, doing a lot of the quote unquote boring stuff. But you gotta be so obsessed to a point where when you become so obsessed, it becomes like second nature. It becomes like easier. The business doesn't change. You just get better at it because you are immersing yourself in it. And it makes such a big difference. We got another one here. How was it making sure you're getting info, right source, not just guru quick schemes here?
I think both of us. I'll go first, Steven. I know you definitely want to add on into this one, because I feel like both of us have been around the business for so many years, and I paid for mentorship, I paid for masterminds, and then and then there's some events and masterminds and things of that nature that I just simply didn't see any value and could read through the lines right away. Number one, okay, are they actively in the business? Okay, that means, are they actively currently doing deals today? Not that they did a bunch of deals in 2020, not that they did a bunch of deals in 2024. No, in 2026, in February of 2020, are they actively doing deals? Number two, receipts, HUDs, right? I have plenty coaching students that I personally, as we were getting to know each other, and they were getting ready to hop into whatever program they wanted, I said, hey, here's my last 5 closed deals. Here's the dates, here's the HUDs, here's what we earned, right? So receipts. And then number 3, my biggest thing is, I think that, you got to have a conversation or a Zoom and just kind of get to know them a little bit, because I think that, some of the best, you may gravitate towards somebody a little bit better than somebody else, and I find for me more particularly, my students just, that we just connected on such like a deep level right away, and we wanted, it was like a connection. So I would say, talk to a couple of people, ask for HUDs, ask for receipts, and then most importantly, are they actively doing deals? Are they actively doing deals today in today's marketplace? And that's it. And there's really no way around it. It's called just receipts.
Receipts. I love it. I love this question because there's so much education more than ever. I mean, when we first started, it was different, but let me tell you now, anybody sells a course, I've seen people, you rent a Lamborghini, you make a short video and you claim all this stuff. Guys, you got to be extremely careful. There is good education out there, but there's also bad education. And when I first started, there was some people that I gravitated towards because of the lifestyle. But when I really looked into their business, the principles, the foundation, it's not just about making money too. What is their character like? What do they do besides real estate? What do they do? Are they somebody you want to be like? The money is one thing, but do I want to be like this person? Do I want to have the lifestyle like this person? And yeah, I mean, receipts number one, and they have to be an active operator. If you're not working with an active operator, what are you doing? Like, there's no other way to do it. There people teaching this stuff today that aren't active, that used to be 10 years ago, are teaching outdated information. As silly as that may sound, there are people like that out there. And I think one of the biggest things of value is not only them being active operators and showing HUDs and all that stuff, but can they still teach what they preach, right? I think leading by example is one of the biggest things when building a team, and also teaching other people. If you can't teach what you're talking about, it's one thing for a coach or mentor to say, yeah, this is how you do it, go do it. But let me show you how it's done first. Let me show you how it's done. Let me show you what mistakes to avoid. And I'm not just going to tell you, I'm going to show you. Let me jump on the calls with you. Let's go on some live calls. Let's go through that together. I mean, that's a lifelong skill set that applies to a lot of businesses. But real estate specifically is an amazing vehicle. There's a million ways to make money in real estate. I mean, there's flipping, there's renting, there's wholesaling, there's tax deeds, and there's land. There's so much stuff. But also, when you're looking for education, I'll speak from the student point of view as well, is you have to stick to one thing for 90 days. If you try something out with a real person, a real operator, and you try it for a week and you say, you know what, this is too hard or doesn't work, it's not them, it's you. I've seen people, and I love what you said, that you get on a Zoom or something, sometimes it's not a good fit. There's some people that I feel aren't ready to invest in education. Some people will grab your money, and whether you fail or not, they're not invested in your success, And one of the things I love about a community, like I have this community on school, we do basically every day we do the live calls. They have access to me 24/7. We talk about our wins. We talk about lessons. We do JVs. Like, it's an active community, all of us helping each other. But, when it comes to mentorship, or you guys investing in a long-term person or coach or whatever they're selling, is the coach should probably get to know you. If he just accepts anybody for an investment, that's to me, that's a red flag. I've turned down some people that I feel like, hey, I don't think you're ready for this yet. Start this way, step one, and then come back when you're ready. But get to know the person, make sure they're active. Look at the HUDs, look at the testimonials. Right? It's one thing to say, hey, we're awesome coaches, people are winning. Okay, well, where's your testimonials? You are as good as your student success stories as well, or the people you've trained. It's a direct reflection of how you teach. That's just my 2 cents. I could go down.
I'll say one last piece, because you touched upon it. Seeing is believing. Documentation beats conversation, and show me, don't tell me.
Say it again. Show me, don't tell me.
Seeing is believing, right? I got to see it. I got to see you closing deals. I got to see you having a company. I got to see you having some employees. I got to see your operation. Number 2, right? Documentation beats conversation. Receipts, HUDs, closed deals, closed transactions, your CRM, your leads, your volume, right? And then last but not least, show me, don't tell me, right? Because I can never ask my team to close a deal if I'm not closing deals, or I don't know how to do it. I can never ask them, right, to do certain things if I haven't mastered those. So if I'm going to coach you and teach you, I got to have mastered those skills. So if you're stuttering over a phone call, I can grab the phone and take it to the finish line. You can see me do it, which we're going to do here in just a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's great. And you guys, as leads come in, some may answer, some may not, but we're going to talk about stuff in between, maybe about the property, maybe about a case study, maybe answer some questions. If you guys have questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. But that being said, Nick, you ready to make some calls and have some fun here?
100%. 100%. And like I said, for me, I've always been very interactive. I'm going to try and kind of share with you guys what what's happening at different stages of the call and things like that. Because at the end of the day, whether you're an owner and operator on here or you have your sales team on here, every time that I've been on these shows, I've encouraged people to look for like one or two things. I'm sure Steven's going to say something. You're like, wow, I better jot that down. I can easily use that. How we overcame that objection, or how did Nick, match and mirror, whatever it is. Take one or two or three different things away, and obviously implement those into your business.
I love it. Which one you want to call first?
I could take. Let me see here. The first one. I think actually, I'll call Jessica.
Okay, Jessica.
I
So
think
she's downsizing.
Downsizing, yeah.
Property ASAP.
Let me see here. And it is Friday, right? So sometimes, we have the response rate on a Friday is slightly down, but we're not going to believe that. But that is a.
Hi. If you record your name and reason for calling, I'll see if this person is available.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
83 Springwood Lane.
I think she has this listed though, because some of those will slip through the cracks where, they'll say no, but it is. If I have the right address, I think it is.
Is that thing listed?
Thanks, Springwood Lane. Please stay on the line.
It looks like it. There's some pictures here.
Is it listed right now? I'll hang up. I'll move to the next one.
It's listed for $350. The Zestimate, as we all know, is not always super accurate, but the Zestimate's $580. Oh, it's been listed for 3 months, and there's like 6 people. Yeah. I would skip that one. Let's go.
We'll get that one right away. 57. Let me move to the next one. This is Josh.
Hi. Record your name and reason for calling. I'll see if this person is available.
1175 Warm Springs.
Thanks. Please stay on the line.
Hello?
Hey, is this Josh?
This him?
Hey, Josh, how's it going? This is Nick. How are you?
Good. Yourself?
Good. Sorry to bug you. I know it's Friday. I'll reach out to you. I know I believe you had put in some information about your property on Warm Springs Lane.
Yeah.
Great. Decent time for you?
Yeah, I got a few minutes.
Okay. I know you expressed some interest in possibly selling. So just wanted to connect with you. I'm actually the owner of the company, reaching out personally to, I guess, grab some more information and see if it's a possible right fit. Would you say the property's in pretty good shape, or do you think it might need some work condition wise?
It needs a little bit of work. Which company you with?
Yeah, so Cross Country Offer. I know you had put in some information online, just requesting, showing some possible interest in selling. So I'm just kind of reaching back out to you. How long have you been, thinking about selling?
Off and on for about a year. I'm military, and we had to move, and I've been doing some updates to it and whatnot. And I started a kitchen reno, brand new cabinets, brand new countertops. It's at about like 90% completion. Just
Sure.
needs like the sink put in, needs the countertop stove cut out and put in, and then needs I've got some of the other new appliances that need to be mounted. So just needs some minor repairs there. I had the whole interior of the house painted, exterior.
Got it. Okay, so you put in some work into this thing, because for us, like we are an investment company. We buy, for this one here, it would probably fall into the category maybe something we'd consider for a rental. Probably not like a flip or anything like that, like the TV shows. That's what we primarily purchase. If you were to stop doing work to it, stop pouring money into it, and things like that, and we were to put something together where I'd come in and purchase it just the way it is, right? Did you have a price in mind, or a range, or a ballpark on what you might want to receive?
So are we talking no closing cost type purchase?
Yeah, just what you see is what you get. I would cover all the closing costs. It wouldn't cost. There's no agents involved. There's no commissions, things of that nature.
And
Yeah.
then I guess probably my other question would be, is there I can't remember what it's called, the clause in the contract where you could go to a third party during the closing procedures.
What is that? I never heard.
It's like a no validity clause, or buy where you guys could go to a third party buyer, like before we close the deal. You guys could go to a third party buyer during that time, and basically I lose kind of control of it.
No, I'm not. I've never heard of. I'm sure there could be something out there like that, but no. For us, I would be the direct purchaser of the private.
Okay.
If we did the deal, I would be the actual purchaser.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'd come in. Obviously, I'd pay cash, cover all the closing costs.
Sure.
Things of that nature. I mean, depending upon how quickly you wanted to close and how quickly we can get title back and things of that nature. And I want to come by and see it at some point, obviously. But no, I wouldn't. There wouldn't be any funny business or anything like that.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, probably like the number in my head, minus without closing costs, commissions, and all that. Kind of with some of the repairs that need to be done, I'm thinking in my head there's probably around $4,000 to $5,000 to finish it up.
He's gonna say something crazy.
Depending on what else
I already thought it's not gonna be a deal.
But I think in my head I'm somewhere around 275.
275.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see here. And do you by chance, and the property obviously it's vacant?
It is.
Okay. And if I were able to do something like that, you'd pretty much be in a position to kind of rock and roll.
Yeah, I'm ready. So yeah, I could rock and roll at any point. I have a few things down there that I'd have to run down and kind of pick up, just tools and whatnot. But so I can send you some photos. I don't know if you pulled any pictures from realtor.com has the pictures from when I bought it back in 2018.
Uh-huh.
So it gives a pretty good layout of the house, like the floor plan and whatnot.
Sure.
But I put hardwood floors in the living room and formal dining room area. The kitchen, like I said, the bathrooms need updated. But outside that, the house is in pretty good condition. The backyard needs some work.
And when you purchased it, you purchased it to live in it, or or you purchased it to rent it, or what were your original plans?
So I was stationed down there, and so my family and I we were looking at renting, and our realtor got us into this house, and it's right by the golf course, so it's in a really good neighborhood. It's probably the best neighborhood in Las Cruces. But it's by the hospital, so commute's easy. Probably it would make a good rental for sure. And we were kind of on the fence about that. But anyhow, we lived there, and then I got deployed, and then COVID, and then all that craziness happened, and then about 2 years after that, I got restationed, and then we just been we were thinking about keeping it as a rental. We were kind of using it as a secondary home. We were going down there and whatnot, doing stuff. And it just kind of got to the point where we're like, we got to sell it.
220 man. Got it. No, for sure. I'll say this. I'm definitely interested, and we're definitely in the same ballpark. For me, obviously we are an investment company, so we obviously have to have a little bit of spread in there for just equity purposes, and then obviously the repairs, and then whatever it's going to cost to get a tenant in there and X, Y, and Z.
Sure.
Would you ever consider something the lower to middle 200s ish?
It'd be hard for me to go south of 265, just because I have put some work into that house. So and I did have an offer from a real estate agency out of Illinois, Iowa, I can't remember which one. And they were at 265, but they had that buyer clause in there where they could go to a third party, and I just wasn't 100% comfortable with it.
Basically, they can put it on the market, basically go find a buyer. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Okay, because I mean the reason why they probably did that just between is because at that purchase price of, let's just say 265, someone could pay something like that, but they're going to want to live in the property. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like an investor like myself that's going to renovate it and then rent it, or renovate it and fix and flip, which this isn't that case. we have to be somewhere where there's a little bit more margin. So like selling for the property at potentially somewhere like 260, maybe even 250. That's somebody that's like sees the property and like, I want to straight up live in it. I'm going to use a conventional loan. There's inspections, there's appraisals, there's contingencies, there's an agent involved. Like that route will get you potentially that particular price. But if you're looking for something quicker, faster, where you don't pay those fees, there's no inspections, appraisals, contingencies, 30 days this, and loans involved. It's, for me, my best would be something like 220, 230-ish, something like that. I know it's not exactly where you want to be, but that range, and why that company probably offered you like that clause is because they're going to go ahead and probably list the property and then just try and figure it out and find someone that wants to live in it and then go through that whole hoopla. You know what I mean?
Sure. Well, it was a cash offer, right? It just gave them the opportunity, I guess, to source other investors. But like my realtor down there, who sold me the house, she did a market analysis on it, and she said probably, if I listed it, went that route, I'd be somewhere around the 340 range. So
340 range.
Yeah, I mean, so that's where, like, I got it. Like, if I'm not listing it, kind of cutting that down, right? But like 220
is there anything higher than 250?
Definitely pretty low for me.
For 389.
Okay, got it. Let me do this. I definitely want to try and make something. Do you have actual interior photos of the property?
Yeah, I got some of the updated pictures. Yeah.
If you can, do you think you can maybe shoot? This is my personal cell phone number. Maybe shoot me a text.
Sure.
And what I can do is I can take a look at the photos and then talk to my partner and see and come up with the actual highest and best. If it works, great. If not, obviously no hard feelings. We do have like a goal that we always want to accomplish by buying so many properties before the end of the month. We wouldn't close this month. We'd probably close somewhere in March in a perfect world. But as far as like just securing the property, opening up escrow, putting earnest money in, we definitely want, we're looking. We got 9 days to figure it out to reach that goal. So I'm definitely motivated, but I just want to make sure that it'd be hopefully a win-win for both of us.
Yeah, 100%. And like we get somewhere in the mid twos. We're definitely talking.
Got it. 100%. Yeah, if you could shoot me over a text with those photos, I can go ahead and spend some time on it here in the next, 20. I'll be quick. I'm not gonna take all day to analyze it or anything like that. But I want to obviously come up with the highest and best. I know the photos will allow me the ability to be able to do that.
Sure. And what was your name again?
My name is Nick.
All right, Nick.
Yeah.
Cool.
Are you local to the area? Are you in New Mexico?
I'm in New Mexico currently, but in May I'll be leaving to Alabama. So.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay. So obviously you want to get this thing to that way before you leave, and it is vacant. So obviously if we come up with something, a potential closing date could easily be like that second week of March, because it is vacant, and obviously we just be waiting on the title report, things like that.
Sure.
So sounds good. Then I'll go ahead and if I'll look for the photos here, and I'll give you a call here in about 20 minutes or so.
Sounds good. And then, like I said, if you go on realtor.com, you can see the floor plan and whatnot.
Got it. No, I'm looking at it right now. I just want to get a better gauge for the condition, and I'll talk to my partner, and we'll come with our highest and best for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Talk to you soon.
If I don't answer, just shoot me a text. Like I said, I'm in the military, so a lot of times I get pulled away.
Okay, got it. Appreciate your time, and I'll look for the photos here shortly.
I appreciate it.
Bye. Can you hear me okay?
Very nice. What are we looking at?
Yeah, I'm looking at a solid 350, but I think there's something in the 380s. I think you'd be pushing it like wholesale wise to lock it up at like 250. It's kind of like a wobbler. I think the photos could put it over the edge if it's not that bad. But I know like markets like this, like wholesale wise, investors want to be cheap. Like I would imagine they're probably going to want to purchase it like 57 cents of ARV, something like that. In New Mexico, so that's why I'm like, if I get the photos, in my opinion, what I would do is get the photos and then kind of analyze it just a bit more, 20 minutes, and then call him back and make that offer.
He's around
the photos now, so I think that I can probably get him down to like 240.
Man, there's some. The one across, I don't know if this has a pool. There are some photos on Realtor.com. Let me see. But the one sold for 443. There's one that sold for 350. And as is, they're all over the place here. Let me see this comp over here. This one sold for 373. Is this one renovated? Oh, no, 373.
Did you see something higher?
The highest one I see, the closest one. So there's one across the street that sold for 443, but it has I mean, it's got a pool. I don't think his has a pool. His is just in regular shape. I think these are outdated photos though. You see that one?
I'm looking right now. My guy's underwriting it right now.
Here's the photos of the comp. Let me see if I could pull it up here. So this is the comp that I saw. It's a little bit bigger square footage. This isn't renovated. It's got a pool though.
So he actually just sent me the photos right now.
How's it look?
Let's see here. 7. Oh, it doesn't look bad at all. I think we could be big time in business. Take a look.
Oh yeah, it's in good shape. He wants 265 if I heard.
I can get him to 250, maybe even 240. Pretty confident.
Yeah, I mean, there's some here that are selling the 350s, 360s, 370s.
And sometimes, like if you're watching out there, like in my opinion, I could have definitely probably been on there another 5 to 10 minutes. But I felt that like once in a blue moon, especially with him because he was already motivated, he's ready to go type of situation. Like me telling him that I'm send me the pictures, which he's sending them to me. I'm actually spending the time underwriting it. It just in his mind, it just more. I don't want to say believable, but it just makes more sense. Like, okay, he's spending the time. So when I do call him back, which I know he's going to pick up, it's going to be like, wow, this guy spent the time, right? He looked at the pictures. Like, I think I can get him to probably 250-ish for sure. Because sometimes we'll just shoot out an offer, and like I know some of the sellers, and if you're not intuitive enough to understand that, like the seller's kind of like a little bit like sketch, like sometimes I know we shoot offers, and the seller's like, well, how do you come up with this offer so quickly?
Yeah.
Right? Am I selling it? Am I considering something too low? Should I hold out? Right? So you kind of got to be in the middle, right? Where it's like obviously you want to get to the point, right? Quickly, right? Because speed is king. But number two, you got to make it real. And I think that once in a blue moon, letting them know, hey, 20 minutes, I'm going to underwrite X, Y, and Z. It's just more of like a realness of it. And I think we can lock this up like literally today.
Nice. We're off.
Does it have a pool, by the way? Does it have a pool?
I don't think it has a pool. This one doesn't have a pool either, though. Let me see. The one that sold for there's one that sold for 455. That one had a pool, but this one that I'm looking at right now doesn't have a pool.
That sold for what?
This sold for 373.
373.
And it has one bedroom less than his, and it's smaller. So this one that I'm looking at right here, it's a 1772 square feet. The guy you spoke to is a 1856, and they're similar year built. This sold for 377 or 373. Yeah, almost 374. So I think mid twos. I mean, I think that could make sense.
That could work. I think I would love to do 250. If I can get to 250, I think it's a deal for sure. Getting up to 260, 265 is like probably what I think an investor will probably end up paying for it.
Yeah.
But I think, 240 is like, okay, like that's probably like a good, nice little 20K spread. Easy. Draft up a contract real quick.
Off to a hot start here, man. How do you feel about New Mexico? You ever done a deal out there?
I personally don't market in New Mexico. Nothing wrong with it. It kind of reminds me of like we did some deals in like El Paso, Texas. Yeah. And it kind of gives me like obviously, and that's why the numbers are different. When we're coming up with our offers and what investors may pay, it kind of reminds me of those type of markets or almost like a Houston, the outskirts of Houston, where you got to be like pretty low because the investors are going to probably pick it up pretty low. Right. It's probably a little bit of a smaller market, just like, slower market. I'm sorry. So it's like, that's why, like, if this property were in, let's just say Cali all day, done deal. Boom, boom, boom. If it was in, Phoenix, or if it was in Florida, if it was in Dallas, done, 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 done. But it's in New Mexico, so we got to compensate a little bit more for that. But I think at 240, 250, I think it sells to an investor for 260, 270 because it doesn't need that much work. If it was like beat, no way. But from the picture that he sent me, it doesn't look like it needs that much work.
Yeah. No, that's great. There's another comp here. What is this go for? 350. And this one's, I don't think this one's renovated either. Here's another comp right here. This one does not, I don't think this one has a pool either. Oh, is this virtually staged? Yeah, this is virtually staged. That's crazy. This is in fair shape. This sold for how much?
What is that for?
350.
Wait, did the guy tell you what's his name? Joshua?
Who?
The
The seller?
Mm-hmm.
Seller's name. Let's see here. Joshua, yeah.
Did he tell you the mortgage amount?
What does he owe?
It's supposed to be 299.
I don't think, I mean, he's smart enough to know that would never work.
Estimated 299.
Yeah, that's sometimes not accurate.
Yeah.
I can call him back and confirm. Steve, if you want to take a call, in the meantime, I'll get all this teed up, and then by the time you're done with your call, we can call back and close
Shoot me
them
a
out.
message. Let's see if I get someone in the hook here. All right, cool. Let's see. Man, we're off to a hot start here. First call, numbers make sense. The guy's motivated. I mean, that's the quality of the leads. Imagine getting a few of these a month. It's great. All right, let's see what else is in the list here. So that was New Mexico. Let's call this one in Florida. Let's see. Mrs. Whitaker. All right, let's see what we got. Mrs. Whitaker. Make sure this one's not listed. It's not. Okay, perfect. All right, so the reason this person wants to sell is because relocation. Awesome. All right. I'm going to share my let me make sure I'm sharing my screen audio so you guys can hear that. Give me 1 second. Stop screen, share screen. Number 2 with audio. All right, cool. All right, they want to sell because they're relocating. They need to sell ASAP. Let's give them a call and see what we can do here. Got some jet skis.
Hey, if you record your name and reason for calling, I'll see if this person is available.
Oh, hold on a second. I got to make sure I'm using the same microphone because I got my headset turned on. Man, I don't know if it's the iPhone update, but a lot of these screen calls. There we go. Let's call him back.
Record your name and reason for calling. I'll see if this person is available.
This is Steven. I just switched to speakers here. Hold on. Oh, hold on a second. Hold on. I have to call from, I'm actually calling from the Oklahoma number. Let me call from the Florida number. So when you're doing this virtually, it's important to make sure that the area code is in the same area. Not that it's going to, be a deal breaker, but sometimes it helps when building rapport. So I'm going to call this one from the Florida number. Interesting. Now it's not. Hey, my name's Steven. I'm calling about Sugar Maple Lane. So while that's pulling up, I'm gonna start running. I'm gonna run comps on this. I'm gonna call them back again, and I'm gonna leave a voicemail as well because these people just filled out the form recently. Let's make a call on this one. Call back. My name's Steven. I'm calling about Sugar Maple Lane. Oof. They got 18% equity. They bought this 5 years ago. They owe 266 estimated value. Let me see. And this house is excellent shape. All right, let's go to the next one. Let's see. Where's the next one at? The next one we have. Let me refresh this just in case we have any new ones coming in. Next one we'll call is in Groveland, Florida. Mrs. Davis. Oh, it says her email is a realtor. Sometimes, sometimes realtors want to sell for sale by owner as well. You'd be surprised. We actually did a deal with an agent. She held an active license, but she wants to sell it off market. Okay, so this one, let me see. I don't know where this is at. Looks like it's a community, maybe. All right. Let's find the number. Green Gate Boulevard. Mrs. Davis. All right, let's make the call. I'm going to call back before I leave her voicemail. Always double dial. Some people, they'll fill out a lot of forms, but some of them will get calls back from a different area code. And if they don't recognize the number, they may not pick up the phone. So always try to double dial. Always double dial. And then on the second dial, if they don't pick up, leave a voice. Hey, Tammy, this is Steven. I believe you just filled out a form to get an offer on your property in Green Gate Boulevard. I'd be happy to assist you with that. Please give me a call or text back at your earliest convenience. Thanks. All right, and I'm going to send a message. Okay. There we go. I don't know what CRM you guys use. I've been using Resimply, and it's been amazing. Okay, so I just sent her a text. Let's go to this one in Ohio. Reason for selling personal. Okay, Manuel. All right. Where's this at? Lorain, Ohio. Colorado Avenue. Okay. And sometimes when I pull these up on the street view, like that first one, for example, I know this may sound small, but sometimes I like looking at the street view and seeing it. Hey, is there anything on there that I can talk about? For example, those jet skis tell me that, hey, they like water sports. This one in Ohio, there's not really anything in the front. Let's go ahead and call these people, see if they pick up the phone. Let's see, what's their name? Mr. Mauricio. All right. Manuel. Shoot me back. Let's call him right back. I just hung up on him. Hey, Mandy, this is Steven. I believe you filled out a form in regards to your property in Colorado Avenue. I'd be happy to assist you with that. Feel free to give me a call or text back at your earliest convenience. Thanks. All right, so I left a voicemail. Okay, and I just sent a text just like that. All right. How you doing with that contract?
We're getting ready to send it. I got to call him and just finalize the price. It's already teed up and ready to go. I think I'm gonna shoot for.
Oh, you ready to call him back?
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot for 240.
All right, cool.
Yeah, 240. I don't have his email just yet. I'm gonna shoot for 240 and then see if we can just get it. I think it's a deal all day long.
Let's do it.
I mean, 240. I'm pretty confident in it. So let's see what happens here.
What's the number you won't go above?
You reached Josh Maynard. Please leave.
We're gonna double call real quick. He mentioned something about he'd call me back if he couldn't answer.
You reached Josh Maynard. Please leave your name and number, and I will call you back as soon as I can.
No answer.
I didn't see those photos to it, but does it still look like this, or did he do updates to it in the kitchen?
It looks, to be honest with you, the kitchen, this kitchen looks a little bit better than that kitchen.
Oh, you
A
must
tiny little bit better, like a little bit more modern.
That's good.
As far as like repairs that are needed, I mean, like from the pictures, like very few. It's just it's honestly like a deep clean, and then like some like minor cosmetic stuff.
Okay. What's the number? What's your MA on it? What's the number you're
250,
250.
maybe 255. I think 240 would be solid. I think a buyer probably would buy it at like 260, 265. So maybe, a little bit more. But I feel like he already had threw out 250, so I think he might consider the 240.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm down to move to the next one before he calls back. Where did you end up getting somebody on the phone?
No, I called. Let me see.
It's actually him, I think, right now.
Oh, go ahead.
Hello, this is Nick. Hey, Charlie. I'm actually in a meeting right now, but I'll be free in about 45 minutes. Thanks so much. All right, false alarm. Same.
DocuSign.
I do a commercial account.
Yeah.
To where you can send unlimited, and a year goes by so quickly. You have to sign a contract, sign a commercial account. So like it goes. I was like, these things is just random. 1 year passes so quickly with them.
Yeah.
So I'm like negotiating. The pricing changed 1 year. It's funny.
You text that guy?
I'm texting him now, as a matter of fact.
Let me see if I can call Let me see. I called. Oh no, Wisconsin's the one that's listed, right? Yeah, you try calling that one. New
Yeah, I've only
Mexico.
done Jessica and Josh. Did you already do the top?
I got
Four?
one more to call. I don't see any new ones in yet, but let me try calling this US 62 here, and then I'll bring you back up. If the guy calls you back, shoot me a message real
100%.
quick. All right. All right, let's try calling this one. Hey, Drew and Craig, let me know if you see anything else coming in there. All right, so this one is Ocala? Nope. Horse Branch, Kentucky. Horse Branch, Kentucky. There we go. Hold on a second. This is dang. This thing is beat up. I'm always really conservative with these that are in rural areas. Let's pull this up. Okay. I think one of the leads is actually texting me back. Unless somebody else. That's AI doing this thing. All right, cool. So this is the property. Horse Branch, Kentucky. I need the money for my son's studies. Wow. All right, cool. So let's give him a call. That sounds motivated. Dang. Let's call him back. May have to skip trace this guy. Maybe put in the wrong number or something. It's ringing this time. Whoop. All right. So we left a voicemail. We caught all of them. Okay. So this guy in I don't. It kind of just went quick, but what was the time frame he's looking to sell? Well, I think he's put ASAP on the form.
I mean, to be honest, he's moving in May, so I told him we can close in March, and he was totally cool with it. So I think rather quickly, because there's really nothing holding him back because it is vacant.
Good. While we wait for some of these, we got 30 minutes left, but can you tell us a little bit about, I don't know, the last deal you did, maybe like a case study of it?
Actually, that one actually just closed today.
Nice.
This one just closed actually like an hour ago.
Nice.
Yeah, it's there. It's right there. It closed just about an hour ago. And for everybody who's watching, obviously everyone is in a different place in business, right? And so you kind of have to gauge where you're at. One of the things for us, I'm not sure, Steven, I'd love to hear actually, but for us, we utilize several different marketing channels. We don't just rely on one. I know the leads that we're calling today are PPC leads, which are typically the hottest, right? Most quickest, fastest leads that could potentially convert, simply because they've already expressed interest, so on and so forth. But so for us, it's PPC, it's PPL, it's cold calling. We do have an agent outreach department, right? Which utilizes a lot of SMS messages directly to agents. And then, we have a pretty big referral program as well, a website that we push people to, readytoassign.com, where actually it's funny, Stephen, you can submit, I'm not sure if you've seen it, submit leads, and you can also submit contracts, that are pretty much ready to go. This is actually the closing right now. Hello, this is Nick.
Hey, Nick, it's Jennifer with Entitled, returning your calls.
Oh, great. I was just calling to see if you needed anything from me for the disbursement.
No, I did say I was dispersing this afternoon. We actually previously verified your.
Okay, sorry about that. I must have misread it. Okay, thank you so much. So, out of those 5 channels, right?
You say them again?
So we got number 1. We have a PPC, right? Mm-hmm. And This is actually my first time learning and hearing about Lead House, which we're definitely going to. I'm always an open-minded person.
It's your first
I'm
call.
always looking Now I'm looking to evolve. I'm always looking to learn. I'm also looking to build new relationships. So PPC, solid PPC, right? Number 2, PPL. I love PPL because it's super controllable, right? You can log in and just purchase away, right? If you have X amount of dollars to spend, which we oftentimes do at the end of the month, it's great. So PPC, PPL. Number 3 is cold call, right? We still operate a virtual call center out of the country. And to be honest with you, I think a lot of people got out of the cold call operation. And I kind of feel it.
About that.
And I think for several reasons, mainly in my opinion, just operational, right? Not operating costs, but operating efficiently. You have to know what you're doing operational wise to run a virtual call center and really have your systems and processes and management on point. So I feel personally right now where we are, a lot of people aren't utilizing that channel. We're diving deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. We're getting an incredible ROI and way more leads than we were probably like a year or two ago, right? And I think that's due to probably less people utilizing that particular channel. Cold calling, virtual call center, but that operates about 6 days a week. And they're calling, obviously lists from all over the country. And we have an agent outreach division where we're sending SMS directly to agents in specific markets across the country and then utilizing AI as far as the responses. So it's all done. The only messages that come to the salespeople are actually agents that have deals that fit somewhat of our criteria. Again, and that all just comes down to adapting to the times, adapting and learning to the AI, the Chat GPT, like what's happening and utilizing it in your business. So that has been great for us as well. Definitely a newer channel. And then the last one is referrals. Right, we just locked up a deal literally about an hour ago from our referral program. I promoted it on social media. It kind of, it just kind of like works itself. And I built that channel to where people can submit leads for our team to close, and then they'll get an email just about every 24 hours when there's some movement, and then the people can submit contracts for our team to dispo. So those are our 5 channels. And then obviously the leads that are generated, whether it's cold call, PPL, PPC, the referral program, all go to, high level sales professionals, acquisition managers that are working 6 days a week, 6 days a week minimum, 6 days a week minimum. You can't finesse, you can't cut corners, you can't AI acquisitions. I'm sorry. Not in my opinion, not just yet with the AI and the robots and this and that.
Yeah, I haven't seen a successful. I've seen some people try it, but I haven't seen a to Z call to contract.
1,000,000%. And so obviously, our belief and our culture is every one of those sales professionals are pretty much in-house, but we're all on the same vibration. Everybody wants to be there. Everybody's working, 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day. There's a lot of momentum. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of camaraderie. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of just like making it fun. You know what I mean? I think when you have a company culture and a group of people all after one specific goal, it creates something really, really special. So
that's amazing.
Yeah. So today we closed I can actually give you the address now if you guys, because it actually just closed. That was actually the escrow officer. I was bugging. I don't think disbursement will take place today because this is Florida, and I'm not sure if they're even going to get it out in time. The deal's in Florida, but I'll give you guys the address here, and we can kind of run it together. Full transparency, I didn't lock up the deal. The deal is a cold call deal. Came from our cold call operation. I didn't lock up the deal, and I actually didn't even sell the deal. Obviously one of my high level sales representatives was able to obviously lock up the contract, and then my dispo manager was able to obviously sell it but I will give you guys the numbers so we can kind of see and analyze the deal. If you want to pull up the screen, I can give you the address right now.
What's the address?
And again, if you're watching, I talked about 5 marketing channels, and I'm a firm believer in all 5 of those, but I will never shut down my cold call operation. Never will I ever. And this is a prime example of why deals just like this. My cost per lead on this thing was probably about less than $10.
Wow.
Assignment fee on this bad boy, I believe, is $25,500. Address is 2616 Caladium Road, Caladium Road,
Caladium Road
Jacksonville, Florida.
in Jacksonville. Walk us through it. What was the?
Let me go ahead and pull up the CRM so we can kind of walk through this bad boy together. And I'll just kind of read the notes because again, and since we're talking about leads in general, whether it's a cold call lead, especially a PPC, our theme is at the office. If it's a lead and comes into the CRM, it needs to be called within 3 to 5 minutes of it touching down. And if it's not, that there's an issue. Now, don't get me wrong. Things come up, leads come in randomly and so on and so forth. But for the majority of the time, if a lead touches your CRM, it needs to be called within 3 to 5 minutes. 3 to 5 minutes, right? Otherwise, they're probably going to do business with somebody else, you know? And obviously, we have certain protocols. If a lead, we call a lead, they don't answer, we're probably calling it twice. And then we're scheduling a follow-up day. Lead comes in at 1 o'clock and we call it twice. Then we're probably calling it, at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. And if they don't answer then we're probably calling it at 9 o'clock. If they don't answer then we're probably calling it at 3 o'clock. And we're going to do the, I'm sure everyone's kind of, heard the 7 days of hell motto. I believe for, leads that are brand spanking new, you need to implement something like that. So let me pull this bad boy up real quick and we can kind of review it together.
Pre-foreclosure lead. Looks like, let's see.
I'm just going to read the notes. Like I said, I did not block it up nor negotiate. My team did. But it looks like the lead came in from cold caller and says here property address condition. It's a rental property. Needs general repair, but nothing much. Might need some touch up from here and there. Asking price, they had no price in mind. This estimate 280. Timeline could sell this month or next. Notes from the caller. I talked to Eric. He's open to hearing an offer. Agreed for a call back. He said that he is in and out a lot, so he couldn't get a hold of. He's in and out a lot. Leave him a text or shoot him a voicemail, introducing and reminding him we talked about the property. States the property belongs to his children who moved to the States and moved out of state, and now they decided they want to rent it. They do not want to rent it and just sell it. The property is tagged pre-foreclosure. Eric said that's outdated, so it wasn't a pre-foreclosure. So lead came in, okay, and it came in actually came in January 17th, 2026. Okay, it was called immediately after. Okay, called 2 times, no answer. Then it was called on the 17th, no answer. It was called on the 20th, no answer 2 times. It was called on the 22nd, no answer 2 times. It was called on the 24th, finally got a hold of him, right? So 17th through the 24th, there was no action, but they finally got a hold of him on the 24th, okay? On the 24th, will call me back, spoke to his wife, okay? That's the 24th. On the 24th, properties at 32 needs full cosmetic rehab. Seller has it rented, but no longer wants to rent it. Offered $150, needs to talk to his family about it. Call back Tuesday and offer, roof is 5 to 10 years old. Call back on the 27th, did not answer. And then on the 27th, actually sent him an offer for $160. We'll sign it today. Call back if he doesn't sign, and then he signed.
For $150 or $160?
I believe $160. Let me check here.
Nice.
Let's see.
Yeah, this looks good. I mean, this one sold for $315. It's pretty similar. That's a good deal.
And guys, Steve and I are talking about this, doing deal reviews. Like, if you're, and I know a lot of people, we got 2 questions today when it comes to like coaching, mentorship, guidance, and things of that nature. Number one, like, you got to be doing this with your coach, with your mentor. Okay, going over actual deals that are in escrow, that have closed, that are assigned, that are pending, right? They got to show you they have a real business. But number two, I'm fully transparent, right? My sales team, they're savages, they're beasts. You know what I mean? I'm so busy working in other departments of the business. To be honest with you, I didn't even know this thing got locked up. I had no idea. You know what I mean? Because after it's locked up, it gets sent to our dispo department and gets worked on right away. And that's just another, conversation, when it comes to systems, processes, procedures, incredible salespeople. But that's the way you want your business to navigate, down the road. If I had to dot every I, cross every T, sign every contract and things like that, there's no way we could do the volume that we do, right? So you want to scale to that magnitude.
Let me see. Question: is AI working good for Nick? Are you using AI? If so, like, what are you implementing, if anything?
AI, we're using it for the agent outreach.
Agent outreach?
Yeah, agent outreach. We, send out about, depending upon the day, anywhere between 1,000 and 3,000 messages per day, about 5 days a week.
This lead, did you guys pull a list, or was this said this was referral? Explain.
Yeah, we obviously pull the list with a specific criteria. But I'm sorry, back to the AI question. We'll send out about 1,000 to 3,000 messages a day. And those will be sent to agents engaging in specific markets that we're in. And then depending upon the response, the AI will just get to work. It'll go through that particular system, which is incredible. And then based upon those responses and the AI's responses and the flow of the conversation, then it'll get sent to an actual sales rep when the AI feels that the conversation is to a certain point, and then our sales team will engage.
Okay. Oh, hold on. You said doesn't show what address? Okay. So it's interesting. You reach out to agents. A lot of people avoid agents. What do you can you explain to people how that's been working out for you?
In all honesty, I'm always looking for just new innovative ways to generate more business, and I'm one of those people that am down to figure it out once you've mastered other channels. For us, we've mastered cold calling. We have a pretty good influx of the PPLs and the PPCs. We have, we're thankful for all of our JV partners when it comes to the referral program and readytoassign.com. So, I'm always looking for more innovative ways. And a buddy of mine is actually doing incredibly well, right, with his agent outreach department. And, for me, I'm always about collaboration. I'm always about over competition. I'm always about, sharing as much value as humanly possible with the community, right? And Steven, like you and I talked about hopping on a Zoom and just exchanging information. It's as funny as I even told you before this call, I said, maybe on Monday we'll hop on a Zoom, 20 minutes. You and I, collaborating, we'll probably add a $250,000 to our bottom line within 20, 30 minutes, So it's always about collaboration over competition. It's always, I love, working, JV deals. I love, that people send to us, so on and so forth. So long story short, a colleague of mine was doing incredibly well. And, it's kind of exchange, of information, sharing with me the intricacies on how to set that up. Definitely quite a bit of work. It's not something that I think everyone should utilize. Just depends on where you are in business. But it works incredibly well. And in exchange, I was sharing with him that what we were doing on the direct to seller acquisition side of the business. And plus we do like a lot of, JVC, other things like that.
Nice. Oh, look, a lead just came in. Let me jump on this one. Let me see if they'll pick up the phone.
Let's see if we can get it.
Yeah, let's see what we got here. This is in this is Oklahoma, Chickasaw, Oklahoma. Awesome. We're actually in Oklahoma. That's one of our main markets. So we are Florida, Tennessee, and Oklahoma is what's working right now. But Oklahoma, is where we get most of our deal flow. Actually, it's doing very well. All right, let me pull this up here. Okay, so this, let me see, what part is this in? You know, when I make these calls, whether they pick or not, pick up or not, I'm always studying the information about the property. When was it bought? How much equity do they have? What did they buy it for? Right? Because that kind of lets me know, how do I structure my offer with this person? They don't know, hey, I'm in front of like PropStream looking this information, comps, if they're not a real estate professional, but that always kind of lets me know where they're really at. So this one, and they just bought 4 years ago. Let's go ahead and call them. Let's see if they pick up the phone. I do have an Oklahoma number that I can call from. Let's call from the Oklahoma number. Give me 1 second here. Make call. Oklahoma. Okay. And their name is Mr. Jones. Okay, Mr. Jones in Oklahoma. If you guys have any other questions, please go and drop them in the chat. We will answer a few more questions if you have any. You know, oh wait, let me get the phone number. There we go. Oh, it looks like another one came in. Perfect. Let's see if I can get some action here. All right, so got the phone number. There we go. Oh man, hold on, it didn't even ring. I don't think it even rang. Let me try a different Oklahoma number. You know, if you didn't know, if somebody has an iPhone, their iPhone's on Do Not Disturb. When you call them, it won't ring or it'll go straight to voicemail. You have to double dial actually, so to make it go through. I'm gonna try double down from a different number here. This has a lot of pictures, so this is one. It's on a lot of property. This is on, and then I start just running comps. And this is more. Let me zoom out. Yeah, this is like north. This, go out more, expand my search. I'm back one more time. If not, there is another one that just came in from West Virginia. So let's call this one back one more time. Oklahoma. You guys have any way?
The person.
All right.
Please
call this one West Virginia. Let's see, Mr. Fuller. West Virginia. Reason for selling. Home selling. All right. Well, hold on a second. This one's on the MLS and it has solar panels. You know, part of the form, and this is on the form, I've seen it, is your property listed on the MLS? They have to select no. If they select yes, it doesn't even go through. Some people will select no or just go through too quickly, but this is fully renovated on the MLS with solar panels. Yeah, it's not going to go anywhere. All right, cool. Nick, this guy ever hit you back up New Mexico? Oh, hold on, you're muted. So unmute Mike. Go ahead.
Not yet. He hasn't hit me back up yet. But he actually mentioned something like that. He had mentioned like he was getting ready to do something. We did send him the agreement, so you know it's ready to go whenever he does call. But like for me, I'm not gonna I called him twice, and then I think in my personal opinion, calling him more is just a little bit needy. It might kind of turn him
Yeah,
off. 'Cause
it'll
he was
turn
a
him off.
straight shooter. He's a
Mhm.
military guy, things
Mhm.
like that. So I just don't, I don't really see the need to call him again and again and again. Plus, if he had somebody else, he probably already would have sold it.
Your Chihuahua agrees.
Yeah, this guy.
Oh, you got a Chihuahua. You know,
This
yeah,
guy
you got
literally,
that's your dog.
yeah, this is the guy right here.
What's his name?
His name's Julia. This guy is yeah. Open that door for him. I'll put the backyard. Just,
Great.
So you can
Hey,
go
we got
there.
another question. A question of a question. What is a question to ask a mentor-like figure to make sure you're getting someone who's engaged, like you say, calling with you, ready to jump in, not just pass you on the leader chain? What is a question to ask a mentor-like figure?
To make sure you're getting someone who's engaged, like calling with you. I'll go first. It's exactly that, asking the question. Hey, the program that you're describing, right? Or the program outline, or whatever, I'm signing up for, does it include this? Because this is what I'm looking for, right? And me personally, all my students I send, with my one-on-one stuff, I typically have, or I always have a call to some degree, right? So we can get to know each other. Because when it comes to like one-on-one stuff versus like a community is obviously community, right? Which is incredible. But when it comes to like a little bit higher level one-on-one type of stuff, you could be in an entirely different place than this person, and that person from this person, that person from this person. So for me personally, I get to know the client and figure out where they are, and then put together a very detailed plan to get them to where they want to be, right? It's not a cookie cutter, one size fits all. So you might want to ask that particular person, hey, this is what I'm looking for. Does your program include this, right? And so it's just asking questions, right? We are in the business of asking questions, right? Whether it's a seller or you're looking to hire a coach, a mentor, just ask questions, right? Ask for HUDs, ask for, details on whatever program that they're laying out.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, ask the questions before you do anything. Also, ask the questions that we talked about before.
Okay.
Are you actively doing it? I mean, that's I guess that's one of the. Are you actively doing it? Give me the HUDs of the last 5 deals you've closed. What does your operation look like? I mean, don't get me wrong. There's people out there. I've seen some teenagers, crushing it from the basement. But it depends. Are you looking to build a business that's sustainable, or are you looking to close a deal here and there? Because once somebody closes a deal, I've seen this myself, and I saw this from not my program, but I saw a friend of mine had a student that he told me about. He closed his first deal, and then he started selling a course and stuff like that. And I think it's good to share stuff that's working for you, but I think you gotta close a good amount of deals, because if you haven't closed enough deals, you haven't failed enough. You haven't come across really any big obstacles. Every deal is not going to go smooth, by the way. So yeah, I mean, asking the right questions and the community and one-on-one is definitely different. One-on-one is not only investment, but it takes us time away from our business, our family. Even though we have a team, it requires more attention on you. And one of the things I look for, at least, right, before you ask the person these questions, are you coachable? Are you coachable? Some people are not coachable. They want to reinvent the wheel. So just making sure you ask the same questions that we discussed earlier. That's great. Where do you see yourself in the business in 5 to 7 years?
Still in the business, but definitely, evolving to different levels within the real estate business as a whole, right? I look at wholesaling in general as 1,000,000% a cash cow, right? There are a bunch of different ways to make an incredible lump sum of income, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100, 250 a month. There's so many different avenues and ways to do it. So I personally see wholesaling as a vehicle to make lump sums of cash. And with those lump sums of cash, right, then comes the next question is, what do I invest these lump sums of cash into, right? What do I invest them into? Well, probably your business first and foremost, but also maybe other industries, right? Or maybe different sectors within the real estate community. So for me personally, I believe, or what the next 5 to 7 years looks like is just reinvesting into different avenues within the real estate business itself. For me personally, and also I have a great kind of passion for being able to help people. It's something that has always been like natural to me. So my goal this year and heading into the future is to be able to help as many people as humanly possible. So investing into building programs, whether that may be like in-person stuff or workshops or whatever it may be, to just reach more people. Because the reality is, shoot, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I went to a seminar and I paid $5,000 for that particular seminar, and it was vetted and it was incredible and it was the real deal. And because I went to that particular seminar and I paid that money, I think I made $1 million. Literally, that like my first $1 million in real estate shortly after leaving that event. So it is legit, it is real, it is possible. So and if it worked for me, it can definitely work for you.
Yeah, I think this business is going to shift. I think where I see myself personally, by the way, is I never see myself retiring from this vehicle. There's so many different ways and sectors you can invest money into. I agree with you. The wholesaling is definitely cash cow. I think it gives you an opportunity to look at other things in the space. I think one of the biggest disruptors right now is AI, not just real estate. I mean, that's in other sectors too. But don't rely just on AI. There still has to be a human element to it. I think it's great for follow-up, but when it gets the lead back on the hook, so a human still has to call close, and you should always be manually following up with those leads as well. Something that I've gotten a lot of interest in particularly is co-living. Actually, I think co-living has taken Florida by storm. I think Tampa, I believe, is the number 1 or 2 market in the United States for that. That's something that I've been interested in. I'm looking into. I have a lot of buddies that do that, but they still wholesale. A lot of my friends that are doing flips or rentals, everybody has their strength and their weakness. But I think that a good real estate acquisitions company should always be going, right? That'll give you the ability to fund other things you want to do. One thing that I won't be doing is that when I first started, I was all about like, let's flip houses. And I partnered up with somebody I met, and I closed on this fixer upper, and he's like, yeah, you bring the funds, I'll bring the contractors, and I'll just kind of show you everything. And I was lucky enough where I broke even, and it was a big learning experience. And I'm like, man, I'm going to stick to assigning these properties unless it's a very light rehab. Like some of the deals we get, we can actually close on them if it's light, but I'm not trying to take on anything that, is a full renovation. So if it like needs light cosmetic and there's an opportunity, we'll flip it. We actually closed on this deal last week in North Carolina, and the ARV, I think it was like 650, 675, and we got it for 400,000. And it was in excellent shape, move-in ready. You could have painted it, whatever. That would have made sense to take down and relist, but we actually got a good offer like a couple of days before we were scheduled to close on it, where it just made enough sense just to assign it and and reinvest some of those funds back into marketing and back into those things. I look at it as a snowball effect. So yeah, I think this is a great business. I think it's going to be a lot more regulated in 5 to 7 years, but regulation is good. There's nothing to be afraid of regulation if you're doing things the right way with integrity and ethics. If you have to make changes under contract for disclosures, just do it. You know, we had our attorney draft up a contract, and it's legal in all the states that we're doing businesses because some of these states require disclosure this, disclosure that. I mean, there's nothing to be afraid of. We've told homeowners for deals that, like, I have no interest in taking down. I said, listen, this isn't a good fit for me, but give me 10 business days and I can market this to my network and get it sold for you. It doesn't cost you anything. Best case scenario, you get your price and I get a fee from the partner. Worst case scenario, you know, we can pivot. And you know, just being open with people up front. And that's it. I mean, that's what's been working for me, and that's where I kind of see going with this. A lot of school gurus, new hype. Yeah, there's definitely a lot. Not just school, everywhere. Receipts are crucial. Lead house credibility, absolutely. How making your right info source. Yeah, we talked about that. Dude, that's great, man. I told you 2 hours were gonna go by fast, man. I just feel like we could do this all day, but your first call, accepted offer, looks like good deal, motivated. I think you would crush it with Lead House. Somebody like you, I think you need to talk to those guys, man, after and see if it makes sense for you. But I think
I was gonna ask does anybody have any last minute questions? I know we're wrapping it up here. The 2 hours is going to go incredibly quick. Does anybody have any last minute questions? It could be really anything. I know obviously it's more geared
ask away. Now's your chance.
Because you have here, Steven, how many years you been in the business?
10.
10. You got 10 years. I've been
11,
I've been like 7 or 8. So you got like almost 20 years, just about something like that, worth of experience and hundreds of deals closed. You know, if you're brand new or even an owner operator type of stuff, ask away. Maybe we'll give a quick, you know, second or for you guys to ask any last minute questions. But either way, it was incredible being on. I know that we definitely want to do this more often and definitely have more calls. Because I think the best way to learn is just by not just, well, obviously doing it, but obviously seeing people do it as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's nothing like live calls because there's nothing to hide behind. You see the good, the bad, the ugly, the objections, the no answers, the live, like you see everything. There's people out there that don't do this live, or they'll edit the call to make it look like as smooth as possible. And I wish it was like that in real life, but it's not. So it's always good to tune in the live calls. But dude, that's awesome. Nick, where can people get a hold of you if they want to connect with you?
Best place is Instagram at Flip King.
At Flip King.
I'll throw it in the chat, but it's pretty simple. Or Steve, you can throw it in the chat. At Flip King is probably the best way to get a hold of me. But be on the lookout for both TikTok and YouTube coming incredibly soon.
Yes, dude, you got to get on there. I've been slacking on, I've been slacking on content in general, but there's so much value to give other people. That's how I came across this business, with somebody doing the social media. There's somebody out there that doesn't know this exists. They don't know that this vehicle exists to get them either financially free or get them somewhere else. So, no, that's great. So Flip King, Instagram.
Yeah, right now, Instagram is the best way to get a hold of me. Just like, you know, I know Steven has a community. I have one as well, and I think that it's best to stay plugged in somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No matter where you are. You know, I still to this day, you know, have mentors and people that I collaborate with, people that are doing even, you know, 10 times. They're a little older, doing better, bigger and better things. It's best to learn from somebody who's been there and done it. You know what I mean? So if you're out there, no matter where you're at, especially if you're in the beginning phases of your business, keep moving. Stay in motion, right? And if you have the ability, the capacity, burn the boats and dive full force into this business, because you're in an industry that when you become successful, when you catch that momentum, when it explodes, it can change your life forever. So if you ever needed a wake-up call or a slap in the face, or maybe even a kick in I'll just say ask, whatever it is. This is it right here, right now.
It takes one deal to change everything. Everything. Awesome, man. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I look forward to doing this every month. I'm sure Nick and I will have another one. And yeah, guys, make sure you tune in, plug in social media channels. Go out there, make offers, apply this stuff. Apply, apply, apply. Don't just watch. Go out there and do it. All right, guys. Have a good weekend.